Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Malin Havefjell and today I think I'm gonna talk you through how the tax return system works here in Sweden, because now when I publish this video it's time for the yearly income tax return to be filed to the tax agency. So how does that actually happen? How do we do that in Sweden? Well, the first thing that happens is that the tax agency, they collect information from other companies, from banks that has information about you as a private individual, if you have received money from them or if you have sold shares or something like that that the bank knows about. So then they send all that information to the tax agency. And the tax agency starts to summarize all that and put that into the income tax return. And we get taxed for the whole calendar year. So now it's March 2024. Now we summarize the income from the year 2023. So now you have received your income tax return from the tax agency and you look, okay, what have they already written there? And the information they have written there is information they have received from other companies. So it's up to you to double check and see, okay, is this information that the tax agency have about me, is that correct? So before you file something to the income tax return, you of course double check what's already pre-filled there in the income tax return. And sometimes you also need to add more information. Let's say you run a business as a sole trader, then you also need to add information about your business because no one else has that information except from you. And you might also have sold an apartment, then the tax agency needs more information from you regarding that one. Or if you have sold shares, then they need information about that as well. And the best thing to do this, to add this information, I recommend you to use the e-service, the income tax return e-service, because there you can see all the information that the tax agency wants from you. They have told, oh, we need to have this attachment to the income tax return before you actually can file your income tax return. So if you use the e-service, you will not miss anything important that the tax agency wants from you. So use that one. That's my best recommendation. And double check all the information that's already there. And when you have done that and you are ready to file the income tax return to the tax agency, you do that in the e-service as well. And when it's filed, you get a receipt saying that now you have submitted your income tax return to us. And then you can sit there and start waiting. Because what happens now? Well, now the computers at the tax agency will start looking at your income tax return. So while you sit there and wait and think, okay, when will I get my final decision from the tax agency, the computers start checking all this information up in your income tax return. And they do this in statistic ways. So the things they know usually get wrong, they check that a little more carefully. They have told the computer, please, can you check this more than you usually check other things? And if there are amounts that looks strange to other kind of amounts, then this computer will also say, something is wrong here. We want someone to check this. And if the computer think, okay, something is a little suspicious here, then the computer will send that to an inbox to a real tax agent. And then the tax agent will see, okay, what has the computer told me to check here? So they will check that one and see, can I see that this is correct actually, or is there something that's wrong here? If they see, no, I can't understand why they have written these amounts here, then they will contact you. They will contact you using a phone or using a letter, send that to you. And my recommendation here, if you're not feeling comfortable talking Swedish, I would say, if they contact you with phone, just say, oh, please, can you send this information for me written as well? And if you, when you see the written text, still think, oh, I still don't understand, contact someone who can actually help you and translate what kind of information the tax agency needs from you. So, if you understand Swedish, you can, if you want to, of course, answer over phone, but I usually actually recommend to not answer anything over the phone. You can, of course, hear what they say, and then you say, yes, good, thank you. Then I know you have this kind of questions to me, and I want you to send those questions written as well, so I have time to read them and understand your questions and also give you an answer. Because I know when you're on the phone, you want probably just, I want you to know I'm a good person, and perhaps you answered the wrong thing there because you didn't understand what they were questioning you. So my recommendation is, if they contact you, ask for some time to be able to answer that question. And when you have received the question and you have understand what they want from you, you send the information, and hopefully the tax agency understand why you have done what you have done, and they say, okay, now we understand, we are on the same picture, we think the same here, and then they will make their final decision. If they still don't think the same as you, then they will send you a new written like a proposal for the decision before they actually make the final decision. So you have one more time to understand what are you arguing about. And when you have received the final decision, you will know if you paid too much income tax the previous year, or if you have paid too little. If you have paid too little, you have more days to pay that. And if you have paid too much, the tax agency will send you the excessive amount to you. And then we have completed this financial year. So the financial year is also always a calendar year, and we always submit the income tax in the beginning of May, but you can, from the end of March and up until 2nd of May, file your income tax return. And I suggest you use the e-service. That is the easiest way to do it. And another reason for using the e-service is that the computers at the tax agency and the ones who decide what the computers will double check a little extra, is that when people manually send in their income tax return, they have seen that it's a lot of mistakes there, so they usually double check the manually filed income tax returns. So use the e-service, and that so you will end up in the special box there where they will double check your income tax a little extra. I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to contact me if you have questions regarding your income tax return, and the easiest way to do that is going to my website www.havefjall.se, and there you can book a meeting with me where we can talk more about what you can do and how you should handle your income tax return, or if you get a question from the tax agency. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.